Hi, today we're going to be talking about a variety of different hockey skills for our lesson for today. Now, before we begin, let's talk about how we can potentially create this hockey stick and also what type of puck or ball that you can use in order to practice these skills. Again, we're going to, if you don't have a hockey stick at home, we have to try to think about the length, right? And then also the difference in that blade before we, kind of go over the lessons of grip position and just some of the concepts that we did here with our third, fourth, and fifth graders, here in the spring. So again, kind of just thinking of any type of long handled item in your house, or also maybe a little bit of a thick branch. If you happen to have a tree, that your parents allow you to kind of take that off and maybe use. I don't know how many of these you may have stored, right, in your house, but if you kind of put several of these together, that can kind of create that handle, and then at the blade, any type of cardboard from a box that you want to cut into that kind of angled pattern for that, or tie it to that branch. And we'll also talk about a variety of a game called broom ball. So it could be fun either outside with family or even inside, depending on what you're going to use as far as your item on the floor, and just being safe, right, and being careful whether you're outside or inside with any of those items to practice these skills. So let me just kind of show you. I have one of our smaller handled ones that we've used in class before. So again, you're looking for something that's going to kind of be that solid base there at the top so that your hands don't slide off of the end if possible. And then you're looking for this kind of curvature, right? And you're looking for a flat base that's a little bit thicker there at the bottom for the blade part, for when you're creating something at home. As far as a ball or a puck, again, trying to keep it a little bit smaller. So I have a small wiffle ball here. And then in class, when we had a whole group going at one time, I have a whole bunch of these empty mint kind of containers that's almost exactly the same size of a puck, a lot lighter, or I could even put some coins or something in there to kind of give it a little bit of weight if I didn't want this flying off of the ground as much and or blowing away in the wind if I am outside. So just kind of those concepts there as far as making something for yourself at home to get started. Now, when we talk about grip positions, so when we talked about this in class, we talked about the difference between any sort of striking implement. So I have my little Swiffer here in order to kind of give me that length to talk about. So when we talked about the difference of grip positions, we talked about kind of our racket skills, right, that I think we did a little bit earlier, to where I'm still kind of having that handshake position. So if I'm about to shake hands with someone, then my hands are off to the side. My fingers are going to loop around. Now, in a racket or a paddle type of situation, my hands are together, right? Very much similar to a golf, okay, where my hands are together, where I can get that nice little wrist action. Same thing on a baseball or softball bat, right? My hands are going to be closer together in order to get that nice little wrist flick action for that. So there's just a couple of examples about some striking implements that we use, right? But this one is different. Our hands are not together to the best of our abilities. We do not want that swinging type of action when we're talking about a hockey stick. We want a lot of control. We want a lot of placement, okay? And then that power and that flick kind of behind it also. But we want a little bit more of that guidance. We want a little bit more of that control, like I said, over the implement, right? So our again, your hand position will switch and can switch. So you want to make sure that you're practicing both dominant low and dominant high, but you're going to keep one up near the top, right? So if I had my actual hockey blade, right, then I want that handle here at the top, right? And this is going to kind of be my steering mechanism, my turning, and my guidance kind of factor. On this other, I want it lower. So on a hockey blade, right, or on a hockey stick where it goes down into the blade, I want this other hand down closer to that. So in order to do that, I'm not gonna bend over from my back. That's where I gotta get my knees into play, okay? And I want my other hand to be palm out, right? So my palms are facing each other, kind of like they would on any other striking implement. But then I'm gonna slide this hand down a little bit lower, and I've got to bend those knees and get into that nice athletic stance. From here, okay, like I said, this one's kind of like your gear shift. This one is that power, right? That little bit of that strike behind it. And I also want to practice that on the other side. So again, hands are kind of facing each other. This one's going to stay high. I'm going to slide this one down. I'm going to bend those knees, okay? Kind of get that weight a little bit lower there so that I have my guidance and my power from the other side as well. Now, again, going through those types of skills, you want to be able to take the puck kind of on your own. You want to also be able to practice passing, and then you might set up some sort of a goal for yourself, right? So whether that's outside or inside, you could even make, a ball out of some socks if you're on the inside, and practice shooting, right, into some sort of a basket, turn it sideways, so that it's facing you. If you have some painter's tape, you might be able to kind of create yourself some sort of a goal on a flat wall that doesn't have anything around it that you could, knock off and, break or something of that nature. But just make sure that you're practicing each of those skills, right? So if I'm taking something along with me, I'm not really sure how well my Swiffer's gonna work here, but if I have, my puck on the ground, again, when we talked about staying in control, this isn't hit it and chase it, right? So much like we talked about with soccer, we're not kicking and chasing, it's that control, right? It's keeping control, keeping it close to me, and I'm going on both sides, all right? And I'm putting this implement on both sides and being able to send it, okay? Then I can switch hands, right? And I'm guiding. And every time that I'm doing that, my hands are a little bit, they're staying apart, right? So make sure that you don't end up with both hands real close to each other. I know that the more that you do it, it becomes natural to want to do that. We want to stand up, we want to make things a little bit simpler, but make sure that you're staying low, okay? Make sure that you're transferring from side to side, not every time, right? I can also do this from the back side, okay? Much like we do with our feet with soccer, right? So just make sure that you're practicing both styles of that. Again, on that passing, all right, we talked about absorbing the puck and then also how to transfer that forwards. So when we're in the middle of the pass, start with that puck, okay, a little bit to your mid side, all right, put that to the back side of you, all right? So I'm gonna come from a position to where I'm a little bit downward, okay? And I have that blade tilted a little bit downward. Let me go ahead and grab this one and show you. So when I have it, it's in this back kind of position to where it's down. And as I pass, I'm gonna end up with it here. And notice, I'm not going to be raising this above my knees, right? I don't need to fly that entire hockey stick way up in the air. I want that nice little shift forwards. I want that nice little follow through with a little bit of a wrist flick at the end, but that's it. All right, I don't have to swing this like I would other types of striking implements. So I'm here, and as I transfer it, I'm going from back foot to front foot with a little bit of that flick, right? And as I receive it and it's coming back towards me, same kind of thing, okay? I can absorb that pass a little bit so that then I can either take it somewhere, right, and keep control of it myself, or I am redirecting it and now I'm passing to someone else on my team. Same kind of thing as with a shot, right, on a goal, but now I'm going to put a little bit more of what they call that slap shot behind it, and I have a little bit of a loft, right, with my hockey stick. So I have it here, and I might come down, and as I make contact with the ground is when I'm making contact with it, and then I've got a little bit more of that wrist flick action to give it a little bit more zing, so to speak, behind it, right, in order to make that shot. So I'd love to see that you are creating something at home. I'd love to see some pictures of that or videos of that, if you want to send those to me, or even just practicing your skills. So please make sure that when you're practicing these, it's that keeping control of the puck, or i.e. dribbling, if you want to call it that, because we use that with some other sports, and your passing skills and your shooting skills. So let's work on all three of those today, right? Have a great day.